Hey, 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 it's Brannon Beliso. It is Friday, September 22nd, 2023, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here on the West Coast. It is what? It is what? It is what? Success never sleeps. That's right. And we're hanging out, man. This is what we do every Friday. As a collective, we try to figure out this thing called life. We want to be happy. We want to be balanced. We want to be whole. And we want to be financially profitable in our businesses. We want to impact communities. We want to change people's lives. But that requires a mindset, that requires a skill set, that requires funding, that requires a plan, that requires a discipline. There's so many elements that go into that. And I hope our show inspires you just to do just that, right? To do just that for yourself. This isn't a dress rehearsal. There are no do-overs, right? I only get 61 once, and that year will be over shortly, and I'll be 62. I want to enjoy every day to the fullest, and that requires me to have a certain mindset. Cool? So as you come on aboard, say hello. Say hello. Say hello. What's up, Bob Poole? Goals, martial arts. What's happening, Bob Poole? Who else is out there today? Let us know. I'm grateful to say that I went to the ophthalmologist yesterday and I had my eye checked because about a week ago, I was in an elementary school and I should know better. And they were breaking boards in this confidence building thing that I was doing at this elementary school. And one of the boards broke and hit me in the face and it caught me in the eye. And so I thought, okay, I'm cool. Typical martial artist. I'm fine. I just had a cut here, put a Band-Aid on it. And I didn't notice my eye until later that night after teaching. I was going home and I went in the garage to get in my car and I saw a flash of light come up this side of my face and it tripped me out. And this went on for a couple of days. During the daytime, I see a little black line. At night, I see flashes. So I went up to the ophthalmologist. She said, good news is you don't have a detached retina or a torn retina. Because fundamentally, the eye is a camera, right? And the front part is pretty much the lens, the retina. And so I was grateful for that. But then she had to remind me that at my age, I will start seeing flashes like that. I said, oh, great, my age. Hey, Mike Oliver, Zen Martial Arts in Sacramento. What's up, Mike? And I said, oh, great. So as you get older, you will start to see those flashes. It's some, I don't know, visceral gel that sits around the eye in the back. And over time, it deattaches from the side of the eye. And that's why we see floaters. And eventually they'll settle at the bottom of your eye. Well, same thing with these flashes. The board hit me, jarred loose some of that gel into a thin piece. And so I've been seeing flashes. It's supposed to go away, but the joys of getting older, right? What a good day. The joys of getting older. As you come on aboard, say hello. This is a very intimate show for me today. Maybe not so much for some people because I'm a pretty transparent, vulnerable person, but I want to share my failures with you. And I'm going to do that today. But before we do that, let's start by thanking our sponsors. Who do we have? We have Tusa, Market Muscles, My Studio, Kids Love Life Skills, and LC Accounting. All people I work with, all people that are a big part of my success. I wish I could blame them for my failures, but I can't. Here we are. Good people. If you need equipment, I love Tusa. I love the gang there. My father used to buy from them. One of their first clients back in the 90s. And today I continue a relationship with the son of the owner, Gunny Kang. And they supply equipment to the Olympians in Taekwondo for the Olympics. And they've branched out into karate, judo, BJJ, other things. Market Muscles. If you don't have a Market Muscles website, I feel bad for you because you need it. My Studio, I believe it's the best CRM system. I think compatibly out there, honestly, they all do basically the same thing fundamentally. You collect leads, you process, you automate, you communicate with your team. You have an app for people to pay through, a store, attendance, ranking belts, special events, the whole 9 yards. But for me particularly, I love the people at My Studio. Good people, ethical people, kind people. You don't see them running around social media hardly at all, because they're too busy making the product better. And they're just that type of company. They don't need the fanfare. They don't need the kudos or the props, but I do know they're behind the scenes doing the work that needs to be done to create a stellar product to help us drive our businesses. Kids Love Life Skills, it's another one. The schools that use us 150% do really well, because we understand life skills education is a component every parent wants. And if they can see that and you put it front and center in your school, you are now viewed as an investment an investment for this child's development, not just 6 weeks of an activity to do during the summer. So Kids Love Life Skills provides that. But again, it's one of those companies that we believe people who want to do the work will do the work. LC Accounting, if you're not working with my sister, you need to. She's a martial artist, but she's a no nonsense, pulls no punches, and keeps me in line, keeps my finances in line. And for me, with the way money moves so quickly, with all our different companies, Letitia has got she's on top of that. She helps me make decisions I need to make in the now with really sound um, bookkeeping advice. So I highly recommend. What's up, Roy? Roy from Miami. Letitia's here too. Wonderful, wonderful. And just so you guys know, Letitia's coming out here for It's Time Life Balance. She'll be testing for her black belt on that Friday. I know a bunch of you are coming in Friday so that we can test her and everybody gets to witness that. It's going to be a good thing. Also, Jason Smith will be testing. So we'll have to do a dinner or something after Letitia with everybody's here and just go eat or something. I think that'll be a lot of fun. So what's coming up? It's Time Life Balance. The 4-day event, I think we have about 9 spots left. The 4-day is really special because one day is all training, watching classes. Dave Kovar is there, right? The second day is all business on Sunday. Terry Lee will be there. Adam Lodi will be there on Sunday. Monday, all personal development. That's all that's about. Tuesday, wealth building in the future. So we've got each day really scripted out. And if you can spend 4 days, you really should. If you can't spend 4 days, you really should. You know what I mean? Because if you can't afford to get away from your business for 4 days and you don't have the vision to see that this well-rounded event can take care of a lot of different things for you, then you really need it. You really need it. But for the school owner that can't get away, 2 days is powerful because Saturday you can see what we do in action. See what we do in action, and Marco posts those numbers. We currently just broke 1,014, and that's powerful. People say that's insane, but it's not. We're at 1,014. I really love how the schools are balanced. 502 in Millbrae, 512 in San Francisco, and we're on a path to do $2 million this year. And I'm very grateful for that. And to be able to share that with you and you witness how we teach classes in real time. You know, there's a big thing going on. You can pull that out, Marco. There's that big thing going on. I've heard lots of criticism about that, right? All of a sudden, there's consultants left and right saying, I have a 7-figure school. Let me be your consultant and buy my programs. But it's easier said than done. Back it up. Show me your data. Show me your numbers. Everything that's in my studio can be verified. So if you want to know what we make, right, to verify that, you can verify it in my studio. You can ask Letitia. I'm happy with all of that because you got to walk your talk. You got to back it up. These numbers we have pulled straight from my studio. I took a screenshot. Nothing fancy, nothing beautiful. But when you come witness what we do in real time, people will say to me, man, I can't believe it. You guys, man, I thought it was a bunch of BS. And I try to be very passionate about posting videos to share that with you guys actively because I want you to see that what we do is legit. Because maybe if you did, you would believe. You would believe that you can do it too. But as long as we have these consultants out there floating around with one school, 300 students trying to profess to you, they're going to help you in your school. I say you got to be mindful, okay, people? Right? It's your space, your race. You're going to do what you want. Just be mindful. Just because I got a really good commercial running at Instagram, and things like that, that doesn't make me legit. Just because I bite Grant Cardone or somebody else, or even me, people bite me all the time, and then I post it, that doesn't mean I know what I'm doing. Right? So do your due diligence. And if you don't, it's your own darn fault. Cool? So where are we going to be? November 11th through 14th. We're going to be here for It's Time Live Balance. Before I talk about that, we're going to have Dave Kovar share a little bit.
Hi, my name is Dave Kovar, and I'm a professional martial arts instructor. I'm honored to be speaking at Brannon Beliso's It's Time Alive event, November 11th through 14th. I'll be doing an instructor training presentation, and Professor Beliso and I have actually been friends for over 40 years. He does amazing work. He's a very unique thinker, and he brings a lot to the table. He gives everything he knows to all of his clients, and anybody that shows up at this event is going to walk away with a lot of useful knowledge. I strongly encourage you to attend. So It's Time Alive, November 11th through 14th in San Francisco. I'll see you there. Bye-bye.
Wow. I thought for me that, and it just humbles me because it wasn't scripted. Dave says what he says. And the reason I think Dave Kovar is so relevant because he does it decade after decade after decade after decade. Easy to do it for a day, easy to do it for a week, a month. But when you can have success decade after decade after decade, don't just call him an OG. Someone said that the other day, you guys are OGs. And I said, well, we're still doing it. So I don't know if you could call us OGs. I mean, we're not sitting on a beach in Hawaii fishing. We're in there. We're relevant. We're studying the latest in technology, social media, business practices, curriculum design, staff training, leadership. All of it is what it takes to truly be relevant and successful in this ever changing world, right? How many companies go obsolete? Can you say BlackBerry? Whoa. Can you say Blockbuster? Whoa, right? The list goes on and on. The minute you stop innovating, the minute you stop being at the pulse of what you do in your community and your business, you're gone. Today, we're at International Food Day at a middle school. I'll be out there doling out cotton candy. Last Saturday, Green Hills Elementary back to school. Tuesday, West Porto Elementary doing the confidence building workshop. Less than a month ago, Art and Wine Festival with the demo team, right? On and on. This is what we do, but we're very aware of the pulse of our community. We're very in tune with the demographic that we serve. So you need to come out for 4 days, November 11th through 14th. It's Time Live Balance. It's Time Live Balance. We only have 9 spots left for the 4 days. Get signed up now. Marco will post the link in there. If all you can do is 2 days, fine. If you want to come for one for business, fine. A little bit of something is better than a whole lot of nothing, right? It is. But if you really believe you're stuck and you want to make earth shattering movement and just really change your life, then the 4 days where you need to be. Cool? Cool, cool, cool. All right. Kind of been delaying on this one a little bit. I decided to get very vulnerable today. And today on It's Time Live, on Success Never Sleeps, we're going to talk about my failures. And the reason I share that so passionately, I say to my son all the time, right? He plays basketball. You only miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And he's working on his 3 ball right now. And he's been very hesitant because he's really good at driving and laying up. He's averaging 14, 16 points a game, which is really good. But I really want him to shoot that 3 ball. And he's hesitant, nails it in the backyard all day long. See, so that's half of it. Half of it is the mindset of just doing it. But we're so afraid of failure that we simply don't do it at all, right? Right? When is the next It's Time Live? Well, this is the only one we got going on now. This is the one you need to be at. This is the only one. You need to change your schedule. You need to make it happen. So I think that's the big one. When Conrad from Respect Martial Arts called it analysis paralysis, and it rhymes, but it holds so much truth. So many people are afraid to take the risk because they suffer from the risk of failure. They're afraid to risk, afraid to do that. They're afraid to do that. And I'm just like, wow, I get it. But waking up is a risk. Getting in your car is a risk, right? Walking down the street is a risk. Every day, we're all one phone call away, right? This could be our day when we leave this earth. So every day is a risk. Getting married is a risk. Having kids is a risk. Everything's a risk. It's just some people are willing to take the risk, some people aren't. Sam On said it so poignantly. And Sam On is going to be with us virtually for It's Time Life Balance. And Sam is brilliant. He's an enigma. And I feel very grateful to work with him. It took 4 years for me to give him an endorsement, but I needed to accumulate wealth so I can tell everybody here I'm at the highest level of net worth I've ever been. And Sam is a big part of that. I said it, right? I couldn't tell you that. 2 years ago, 4 years ago. So I didn't. I didn't. And I just wrote Sam an endorsement, you know. But Sam said only certain people in this world are meant to be rich. And I said, well, tell me more. He says, because rich people take risks. And somebody said, well, yeah, that's because they can afford to lose money. No, they can't. They don't think that way. They take calculated risks. So when I work with Sam in the market, there are risks. There are risks. And he asked me that today. If you were to tell somebody, what is my percentage? I said, you're about 89%. So I'd rather have an 89% success rate, but make no mistake, there's an 11% failure rate there. I fail on some stocks. I fail on some investments. That comes with it too. But if you don't play the game, you'll never win, right? So I think the first thing about failure is getting your head wrapped around it. That failure is sometimes the quickest path to success. Write it down. Failure is the quickest path to success. I see a lot of people coming aboard. As you do, say hello. Let me know you're here. Let me know you're here. And promise me you're sharing this right now with your group page, a martial arts group page, a business group page, somebody that needs this information. Okay. Failure is the fastest path to success. And it is. Steph Curry, one of the most prolific shooters of our time, changed the game. I think he averages about 43%. So he misses 57% of the time, right? Think about that. The best hitter in baseball is 400, somewhere in there. That means they fail, strike out, ground out, fly out 60% of the time. And they're the best. So if you're not ready to fail, you're not ready to succeed. One doesn't exist without the other. So you've got to learn to wrap your head around that, right? I'm not asking you to do stupid things, right? Which you'll do anyways. I do every day. But you know what I'm saying is you have to embrace failure as much as you embrace your success. Sometimes the lessons I learned, hey, karate for girls, Miss Monique, sometimes the greatest lessons I learn are in my failures. I've done some of my best learning lying flat on my face after getting hit really hard, right? So you got to be okay with that because your failures are not who you are, right? Failures are part of being in business. Failures are part of being an entrepreneur. Failure is just part of life. Human beings will fail, but it doesn't make you a failure. Write that down. Say that to yourself every day. I am not a failure when I fail. You are not. But the minute you can't wrap your head around that anymore is why you simply don't make choices, is why you stagnate, right? Is why you're complacent, is why you suffer from that analysis paralysis, or even worse, you're just a professional student that goes to every one of these events, takes the best notes in the room. I see you at social media, you're at everybody's event, yet the needle in your school hasn't moved at all. Why? Because you're afraid to take action. Because the minute you take action, you suffer the risk of failure. Well, you're failing right now in your complacency. Are you with me? Are you with me? Put it in the comments. Journey Martial Arts. What's up, Virginia? I can't wait to see you. It's going to be so much fun. Put it in there, right? And that's a big one. That's why we stay in relationships longer than we should, that we should have got out of. That's why we stay in a crappy job, right? That's why we refuse to step down and take a cut in pay to rebuild our lives into something better. We suffer from that because we don't want to fail. We don't want to look lesser than at social media. You don't want to say, I left my job today and I'm working at freaking Chick-fil-A, right? In the interim to boot things up, and I'm driving Uber because I have a bigger plan, a better plan, but I got to reset, restart. You're not a failure. You're simply smart enough to get out of a bad situation. You're simply smart enough to recognize that you're stagnant. So that's important. And that to me is the essence of why my failures were so huge, and they caused me paralysis in my life. They caused me to sabotage my success. They caused me not to do anything, even worse, and just procrastinate and do nothing, and then rationalize and make excuses as to why I'm not succeeding, as to who could I blame? What finger could I point at somebody today? And I really want to spend a chunk of the time on this because if you're going to succeed, you're going to fail a lot. And if you can't pick yourself up, brush yourself off, start all over again. What was that from, Marco? That was from a movie or a Christmas special. Help me out, Marco. I just had a mental memory come out in song, right? brush yourself off, pick yourself up, start all over again. Yep, hubby baking too huge cut and pay to be happy. Yeah, ain't nothing the matter with that. Because you're only here for a minute. Why would you spend it being unhappy? If you want to freaking bake, bake. But now let's turn that into something relevant. Where do we begin? Okay. Small batches to family at Christmas. Okay. Instagram page. Okay. Farmers market. Minimal investment. Get a booth. Okay. Right? Right? I'm going to be at the PTAs, right? Do a double duty. It'll help the school as well. Stop by my booth, get one of the, my hubby's amazing cookies or whatever, right? With a little QR code to order your own. Boom, scan here. Maybe come up with some nice packaging for birthday, for Valentine, for Christmas, for Easter, for Thanksgiving. Man, Thanksgiving's right around the corner. Your hubby should be on every dessert table within a 5-block radius of your home, right? What does that require? Make some samples. What would that look like? Make some samples, put them in a baggie, go door to door in your freaking neighborhood, or have somebody in your waiting area passing them out to every parent, telling them right now, place your order for Thanksgiving, place your order for Christmas. We do birthdays, da 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 da. On and on. My son, we have a birthday party tomorrow night. He's got a sleepover at the karate school with a bunch of his knuckleheads. My wife's going to make her chocolate chip cookies. That could have been your gig, right? So your hubby should be talking to me. Let's sit down and sort that out. Because what you lack in money or funding potentially, you make for in creativity, right? And your hubby's creativity is he bakes. Who is that, by the way? Yep, hubby taking. Whose hubby is that? Whose hubby is that? I think that's how Famous Amos started. Seriously, right? He'd make cookie for families, then he'd make it for church. Then it grew to this and grew to that, and pretty soon, yeah, Tish, I just gave you 1,000 freaking ideas, didn't I? Didn't I? Right? And you got a whole network there. Take a plate to the Boy Scouts. Take it to co-op. Boom, boom, boom. Come up with some. You're so good at packaging what you've done for Kids Live Life Skills. Come up with a little couple of gift boxes for Thanksgiving, for Christmas. You could have this on your Thanksgiving table to fill it out or make it special. This for Thanksgiving. Think about it. How many clients do you have right now that you could do drop ship because of Kids Love Life Skills? Right at, and you could ship these cookies. Boom, boom, boom. Right? Ben packs badges and materials every day and sends them to our clients in Kids Love Life Skills. So Ben could be packing and shipping right from there. Post at the disruptor page. Send small samples out gregariously, to some of your best bookkeeping clients. Send them out to our best Kids Live Life Skills clients. I would do that right now. Figure out a budget for me, and we'll send cookies for Christmas to all of our best clients, and Kids Live Life Skills will pay the bill. Are we there? Are we there? See, this is how it works. Will we fail? I don't give a shit. We probably will fail. We have to get the cookies shipped right so they're not stale, yada, yada, yada. How do we pack them to keep them? There's things like that to be figured out. And we'll fail. We will. That's okay. It's part of life. Part of life. Let's get on that one, Tish. So, my biggest failure was me. I can't tell you how many times I would get close to success, right? And I would sabotage it. So the next part of that mindset beyond embracing failure as your best friend, embracing failure as a pathway to success, knowing that failure doesn't mean you're a failure, right? Is deciding, and borrowing from the 12-step program in Narcotics Anonymous, it works when you work it. So work it because you are worth it. You are worth the failure that comes with being extremely successful. When I watch Steph Curry miss the game-winning shot, but then come back 3 games later and get the game-winning shot. I mean, it's part of it, but do you think Steph Curry bases his self-worth on how many points he makes a game? No, his self-worth, first and foremost, is God for him. You see that every time he makes a shot, boom, Steph Curry goes like this. Think about it. He's the one guy who's never in the papers. There's no scandal. He's not messing around on his wife. He's not speeding. He's not a butthead. He's grounded. So if you're going to decide that you are worth success, you have to be a worthy person. How do you become a worthy person? What's your why? Mine's live your best life. What are your core values, right? And I say that, and Letitia can vouch for me. I hope she doesn't, though. I was not the best person. I was not. I was a womanizer. I lived from a mindset of scarcity. You know, I grew up in the ghetto where I got to watch my back. So I never let anybody near me. And that was a big part of my failure was I was never able to cultivate a meaningful team because I was taught not to trust people. Okay? So you must decide that you're worth it. Truly. And work through whatever you need to, therapy, the whole 9 yards. Once you truly decide you are worth success, failure loses its weight. And then the next saying is, in order to deserve the best, you must do and be your best. You must do and be your best. Again, you will have that insecurity, the very deep rooted insecurity where you make excuses, where you don't do the work because you don't live by. If you deserve the best, you need to do and be your best. So one end of that is, I'm worthy of this success. The other end of it is, you got to do the work, do the real work, do the ugly work, do the work of pulling back your own covers and realize I suck. And I need to improve my skill in social media. I need to improve my skill in business. I need to improve my skill in communication. I need to improve my skill in leadership. I need to improve my skill in writing systems, in cultivating a team. We don't. So many businesses don't. And all they do is they function as technicians. So, another one of my big failures. I was just a technician in the beginning until I read E-Myth and realized I was a technician with an entrepreneurial seizure. And when that question was posed to me, and I'll pose it to you now, if you get sick or hurt and can't work a day in your life, how long would it be before your business closed? Scary, right? So, for the sake of your family and your own well being, you should be cultivating a team that does it better than you. And our industry is notorious for not taking care of people. Notorious. And I have to admit, I was behind too. But ask Letitia, we've done a lot to take care of our key people. We've given them outrageous wages, and now we're moving into profit sharing. And the average tenure of our team is between 13 and 15 years now. And I will keep raising that bar for them because I'm not basing their pay upon, what does a PE teacher make? What does a personal trainer make? How about if somebody's managing a little mom and pop coffee shop? No freaking way. They provide me with freedom. And that is a failure that I'm super accountable for today. I take really good care of my team. Do I believe there are people in there that, through along the way that could have been a great team member that we lost because we didn't take care of them? Yep. That's one of my failures for sure. For sure. Because I wasn't a level 5 leader. I lived from scarcity. I had to hoard the wealth for me, right? I had to hoard that wealth and pay them just the bare bones. And I had that mindset. I'm the master. You're the lowly student. You're lucky I let you teach here. It's an honor to teach here. It's a rite of passage. No, it's not. It's a business. And make no mistake about that. Okay. Hey, Bao. What's up, Bao? Long time, my friend. Me and Bao shared a great bowl of noodles when I was at Harvard. I'll always remember that, Bao. We had a great talk together. Great talk together. I hope everything's well for you and your family, sir. And so that was the big one. So today, we've become a company that people want to work for. Really become a company that people want to work for. 401ks, medical stipends for certain people on salary, vacation with pay, sick leave is standard, right? We have one on disability right now. But, TJ said that last Saturday this is the epitome of who we are today. We had one guy out with a brain tumor who's coming back slowly now. Another guy out with major shoulder surgery. Say that really fast 3 times. Shoulder surgery, shoulder surgery. So you can't say it, right? And he's coming back. He said last Saturday, they're both kind of coming in easy, 1 day a week, couple of hours. He said, I felt this is like a rehab center at a hospital. That's how much we love our people. See? So we have another one who was gone for 2 years and went out there. He was young. He went out there and did all these other jobs to come back to us to decide that we are the best place to work for. And we talked to him about pay. He said, this is what I want to make. We said, yeah, we'll happily pay you that. We're nurturing him along, making sure we don't overwhelm him because we really stressed out this young kid during the pandemic because we lost some key people. So we were all working like a dog, but we were so blinded by it, we didn't realize that this young kid shouldn't have been working at the level we were as mature men. He wasn't ready for that. So we burnt him out. But by the grace of God, we get a second chance. And we're going to nurture that relationship in a healthy way. So that was another of my big failures, not knowing how to create a company that people want to work for, nor did I understand how we culturally wanted to take care of our team. Not how Apple, McDonald's, Nike, or anybody else does it. How do we want to take care of our team? And it's very individualized in many, many ways. Pay structures, time off, how much they work, what they need, right? All of it. We want to be very in tune, and I could go old school and going, wow, everybody's soft today. They need to be like this and that. And hey, that ain't going to help. That's not going to help your bench strength. Not in today's world, right? Not in today's world. So we're very mindful of that. Who else has come aboard? I see a lot of people listening. Who's here? Who's here today? Put it in. Tell me the name of your school, where you're tuning in from. So we talked about the failure mindset. Take that off the plate. We talked about being worthy, truly knowing that you're worth it and doing the real work that you need to do. We talked about creating a company people want to work for. That was my big failure. We talked about loving your team and taking care of better of them than anybody. Richard Branson said that. If I take care of my team, they take care of the customer, right? It's the same thing here. Don't throw your team under the bus and think the customer is always right because they are not. They are not. And I can afford to lose a customer and weather a bad review. Some great team members who make mistakes because they're human beings, you do not want to afford to miss, right? Yep. Yeah, Letitia's right about that because we are a family business, right? But as well, we're taking care of family too. And that's important. That's really important. I think we did really good with TJ with paternity leave and making sure financially he was taken care of as well as giving him that time in paternity. It was the last week of his paternity when Sifu Bender got hurt and he was going to come back a week early. I said, no, I want you to take your full paternity. And I was beat up that week, folks. I got in there and I taught it was like a 12-round fight against a heavyweight, but it was worth it. The respect I believe I earned in that moment, the respect for his life outside of the business, I think earned me a lot of respect. And I'll say that because I know what I felt like at the end of that week. Believe Martial Arts. What's up, Jason? Also testing for his black belt. I just put in it today, Letitia and Jason, to order your belts. You need to let Michelle know what belt size and what you want written on your belt. Embroidered, I should say. Okay? Make sure you get to Michelle as soon as possible. And so that was another big failure. And then I think for a long time, I suffered from being a poor leader. I really did. I was mimicking what I thought leadership was supposed to be. This very anarchy, dictator, do as I say, I'm the boss, I'm the master, you're the lowly student, you're lucky you work for me type mentality. And it's just simply not true. It's simply not true, nor should it be that way. And when I got rid of my offices, that was the big shift, right? I would walk into the school, right, whichever location. Well, no, because at the time we only had one. I knew better by the time I opened the second one. But I'd walk into the first location, go into my office, shut the door, do what I needed to do, come out, no matter what was going out on that mat. I'd insert myself and fucking take. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that, but it's so harsh. I'm so mad at myself for that time. I was just horrible, you guys. I was. I would walk out onto that mat and insert myself and break up the flow of the class and just right. And that night, I remember when I really understood when two said to me, if you get sick or hurt and couldn't work a day in your life, how long would it be before this business closed? And I sat there and I said 6 months. And we were doing $1 million a year, but I was teaching 60 hours a week and working like crazy. And I came back on the plane, right? And I knew the key was writing systems. I knew the key was developing a team that could do it better than me and taking care of them so well, they would never want to leave me. Ever, 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 right? Ever. Once I got that all going, the big thing was changing the school. Oh my God. I don't say this story too often anymore because I think I have this deep sense of being ashamed. But more than that, in the development of my entrepreneurship, how clueless I was. How freaking clueless I was because I was making money, but it was so volatile, the position I was in. And that position fundamentally was my school was a shrine to me. Everywhere you turned, there was an article I wrote for MA Success blown up on a big freaking board, mounted here. My diploma's all mounted here like this. And I'm going, how are these guys ever going to make their own mark, help really contribute to this school, as long as I am simply all over like this? They're always in my shadow. And people would say, where's this professor guy? Right? And I remember it was a Sunday night and I was alone in the school and I cried. And I cried because I was changing, but I was letting go of a person that was stopping me from being successful, that was stopping me by sabotaging my success, that was stopping me from being close, right? I'd never been married up to that point. That was stopping me and stopping me. Yeah, because the Sunday night thing happened before Kim and I got married. The what happens you get sick or hurt that two told me happened like 2 years later. So I kind of had that one backwards, okay? And I recognized if I was truly to create wealth, a balanced wealth, because I had financial wealth, but I was still a pig. And I'm going to say that. I was a womanizer. I was all the money was being made by me. I was doing all the teaching. Nobody else was making a lot of money at that time. And I was just, like they say in Alcoholics Anonymous, before I was a butthead on alcohol, now I'm just a butthead. So I was making all this money thinking magically I would become this amazing leader, teacher, instructor, company, visionary, disruptor in the industry, blah, 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 blah. And what was holding me back was that old thinking. And so it was a Sunday night. I was in the school, just sitting with myself, trying to figure out what's next. And I looked around, and this whole school was a shrine to me, to my ego, to my facade, to everybody in the industry telling me I'm amazing and wonderful. And I was just looking around going, how did this happen? But it was fed. My beef is failure, again, going back to me, was because I fed it. I fed my failures with props and people telling me how wonderful I am. And I had the money to support it. It was ugly. It was ugly, right? Because I didn't have spiritual wealth. I didn't have emotional wealth. I didn't have relationship wealth. I had physical wealth. I didn't have, the type of financial wealth that has been accumulated today because of the support of my team, because of the support of my family. You can make a lot more money together than you can alone. Let me tell you that. That was one of my biggest failures. I wanted to make all the money. I wanted to hoard all the money. I wanted to keep all the money. And that was a huge mistake. A huge mistake. One of my biggest failures. And today, if you can make so much money that everybody makes a lot of money, that's a good day. That's when your wealth takes off. Really takes off. And that's again where I'm working towards now with my other projects. I want to create win-wins where lots of people make money. Because if we make lots and lots of money, guess what? We'll all make lots and lots of money. So you don't need to hoard all of it. Would you rather have 50% of $10 million versus 100% of a million? Do the math, right? Do the math. So that was a big one. And then once I got that, I think the next biggest failure was recognizing I had no systems. I had no systems in place, and I had no team in place. I had a bunch of young kids that would listen to my song and dance and do as I said because I was their teacher, but none of them looked at our company as a serious business they could be part of for their career. Today, that's a totally different story. Totally different. And the value these people have to me, I couldn't even quantify in a dollar amount. I couldn't. I simply can't. I can't. So being at that point, building bench strength, which was one of my biggest failures, right? We now have a pretty good bench. We're always nurturing that bench, constant. You got to constantly fill that bucket. We're predominantly systems driven, right? We move with trends very fluidly. Anyone that's still doing attendance on Rolodex cards, Excel spreadsheets, things like that, I can gratefully say when technology showed itself technology is always changing. We made the move. We use My Studio. We use, Market Muscles. We use Zapier. We use Slack. We use everything to really allow us to do the good work. And that's what technology should do. If you're writing articles through Chat GPT and AI and all the rest, stop it. Google martial arts blog. I have the #1 blog right now at Google because I produce original content. And once the algorithms look at me, I have a TED Talk. They look at me, I have 2 books. They look at me, they can see my business. They look at me, I spoke at Stanford, Harvard, Meta, Facebook, Lululemon. They can see it all. So I have credibility. And that's something I built. Couldn't have done that back when I was living from a mindset of scarcity. It doesn't exist. So we talk about the law of attraction. And for me, that was one of my biggest failures because my attraction was very skewed. At the time, it was dysfunctional women, people that were just looking to rent a place to teach in. They had no desire to really be a part of my company. I was spending recklessly, recklessly. I spend recklessly today, but it's calculated. I know that sounds weird, right? But it is. David, how are you, sir? Can never say that right. Man mouth martial arts. Is that right? Correct me, David, sir. David Rosenberg, but I do remember that. And so it's important for me today, which is something I didn't do before, giving back a lot. The pay it forward mindset produces the law of attraction. Nobody cares what you know until they know that you care. So to genuinely care about people, not because it's going to get you more students and increase your bottom line, will help you be the best version of yourself to weather any failure that comes across your plate. See, failures are a lot easier now because I have people to talk to. I have people to, it's like mammoth. I never get that right, sir, but I remember. And so when I fail, because I got rid of the offices, I took down all the diplomas, I took down all the articles, all of it. When I fail, I'm right there with the team. I change with the team in the same dressing room. I wear the same black uniform as them. I don't wear a gold belt or anything like that. I want that deep sense of equality. So when I fail, it's not a big deal. I had created this facade, this world where I was on this pedestal way up here. And everywhere you turned in the school, it said, Brannon Beliso's amazing. Brannon Beliso's, incredible. Look at Brannon Beliso. Look at Brannon Beliso. Brannon Beliso walks out like a gangbuster, steps on the mat and says, "Look at Brannon Beliso," right? And now, so it made failing something that was unthinkable. I couldn't fail. I was Brannon Beliso, right? And now failure, because it's just part of success. Nobody trips when Steph Curry has a bad night because they also know he's going to have 10 good ones, right? And I think that's the key thing today with success and failure. Do I have a lot more success than I do failures? Absolutely. But like I learned as a fighter, you can't win all the time. It is impossible. It is impossible. Every piece of data will tell you you cannot win all the time. So, moving from the insecure, narcissistic, ego based mindset to one of humility and gratitude has changed everything in my life. Everything. And so, what does this all come down to? Right now, I'm happy to take your questions in the last 10 minutes. Hey, Courtney, Zenith Martial Arts. Hope everything's good, Courtney. Is that you are your own best friend, you're your own worst enemy. The day begins and ends with you. And when I wake up and go through my prayers and my meditation, my gratitude list, all that, I realize when my feet hit the ground, it is up to me to have a good day. And at the end of the day, when I take stock, and one of the things I do is one thing I can celebrate I did well, one thing I could have done better, it's with me and only me. And I recognize that. And now, as a whole person, which I wasn't before, as a whole person, and living from the mindset of abundance, I have tons to give to the community. So whether I'm driving the after school van, whether I'm slinging cotton candy tonight, whether I'm teaching classes tomorrow and running the Black Belt Prep workshop, I'm me. And I like me. So I deserve failure. Does that make sense? Because I recognize if I'm going to succeed, I need to fail. Summary. First is me, my mindset. Failure's okay. 2, I'm worth success. I'm worth the failures if they're the shortest path of learning to success, right? I deserve to have a good team, but to have that team, I must have a company people want to work for. I must build my bench strength. I must make sure I take great care of that team. And last, I have to live from abundance, never from scarcity. I must always give more than I get. I must always pay it forward. Pay it forward. And then once you have all that in place and you know your why, mine is live your best life. I know my core values. Guess what? The right people will gravitate. Having my sister Letitia work with me for years now, that to me is like, wow, a miracle. There was a time we were estranged and it wasn't the best relationship. And a lot of that was my own bullshit doing. Right? I take accountability for that. I'm married for 17 years. Who'd have thunk? Who'd have thunk? Right? Because I didn't believe I was worthy about that. I didn't think I was worthy of that. I wasn't. I wasn't. And what does this have to do with business? Well, I started it with business. We're at 1,014 students. Throw that up there again, Marco. Throw it up. Throw it up. You know? But more than being worthy of 1,014 students is being worthy to reap the benefits that comes with that, to be able to take that money and work with Sam on and have the highest net worth I've ever had, to take that money and give my son everything he wants in basketball and my daughter for soccer and take care of my team and give back to the community. That's that number. That's what that number means to me. Everybody reached out and it's just, to me, it's backwards. Oh, wow, you got 1,014 students. How'd you do that? What special did you use? What's your trial process? You're missing the boat. When I see 1,014 students, I see that people are going to listen to me because of it. It is true, right? But hopefully I can inspire them to see that this is a byproduct of doing the right thing, of truly becoming the best version of you. Because if you're the best version of you, then you know you deserve the best. and you will work to do the best. You will do the real work, the right work. You will do that. Who here right now can tell me, because of our experiences together as people, you are now living your best life? Put it in the comments, you know? Because man, I think it makes my wife crazy, even my kids, and I do that because this is who I am. I do this because this is my skill set to keep me honest, authentic, and real and accountable and accountable. But the yin to the yang, my family gets upset sometimes. They do. Who's that? Yes, I can. Who's that? My son, I just found, I think I'm going to say, I'm going to do it right now. My son's got his first real crush, and I was the last to know. And he said, because you'll tell everybody, Papa. You'll post it out there and put it out there. Da, 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 da. And I am, right? You guys, because that's the way I roll. I won't live in shame or guilt or secrets. It's important to me to be out there. So anybody listening that wants to better their life in business, come to It's Time. Work with me as a mentor and consultant. And it's not a sales pitch. It's something I'm most proud of. The work I do today in the martial arts, I'm super proud of. I was blessed yesterday to sit on a call with Master Carlos Machado, and his affiliates. And I was so blessed. I was just like, whoa. And I got the greatest compliment from him. And I'm going to say it. We had a private conversation before I got on this Zoom. And he told everybody at the beginning of the Zoom, he goes, you know what? I want to tell you, man, this guy's real. He's real, and he's got the real experiences to back. And we're both the same age. He's 60, I'm 61. So we're both up there. And at our age, honestly, can I say it? We can smell BS a mile away. And so I was very grateful that being vulnerable and transparent with Master Machado was who I am anyways, but that he was able to see that. Most of the time, people will dismiss it and just say, this guy's some crazy old California tree hugging guy, right? But the results are results. Letitia can vouch our numbers. Talk to my studio. I'll happily have them confirm my numbers. They're there. And what we do is what we do. Letitia's my bookkeeper. She'll tell you what we made last year, the path we're on this year. I mean, that's important, because if you can trust this way of doing business holistically, then your failure will become part of your success, and it will often be your shortest path to that, And it's your best life. See, that's the key word, Virginia, right? Helping you learn. I can't teach you to live your best life. You have to learn it for yourself. Through conversation and discovery, and, here's my little example over here, but ultimately, Virginia, you found your life, your way. And you got a really good freaking life. I know you and I both know the darkness you had gone through to get here. But how beautiful is this now, right? How cool is that? And I do. I silently follow Virginia stuff, and I'll look at it and I just watch the little things. I'm just so happy for you. I'm so happy for you to go from where you were, can I say that? Helpless, right? Very hopeless situation at that time. And I remember our late night conversations. And I know I might be saying too much, but I always do. I'm just so, so happy, 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 happy for you, Virginia, and your hubby. I got to meet when we're at Stephen Reinstein's gig. And I'm just so happy for all of that. It's just so cool. And those are the miracles. And they're not miracles I can take credit for. Again, me personally, it's God, right? To be an instrument of that, and to be able to somehow, even remotely, even in the smallest minute way, inspire somebody to discover for them. I take no credit for Virginia. She does what she did. And that's powerful, powerful, powerful. And it is, Virginia, stand on the mountaintop and tell everybody you can do it too, right? But it takes knowing your why and having core values and a clear vision, and the law of attraction really perpetuates itself when you are doing the right things. Oh, what's right for me may not be right for somebody else. No, 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 no. Respect is good for everybody. Self-discipline is good for everybody. Gratitude is good for everybody. Empathy is good for everybody. It's not reserved. What What's truth for one man is not a truth for another. That's BS. The respect of self discipline is good for everybody. The respect of good business practice is good for everybody. The respect of taking care of your team is good for everybody. So these things I talk about aren't only akin to Brannon Beliso's core values. They are on a human level great for everybody. Cool? All right. So let's start wrapping up this big dog. Anybody got any questions? Go ahead and put them in there. Switzerland. Is that you, Ralph? I am proof that I am a better person and professionally. Yeah. Well, if you're working with me, you and I are friends. If anything more, we're family. We're family. That's it. I mean, I always believe that. I work with people I love. And even in the moments I may not like you, I still love you. In the moment you don't like me, I hope you love me too. In there somewhere. That should always supersede. I went and saw a cousin the other day who I haven't seen in 6 years, and he wasn't very happy with me, but I loved him anyways. And I hope that relationship gets healed and that door gets open. But I'm always the guy. I'm always ready to make the first move. I just that's just the way it goes. I don't like strife. I don't care for resentments. Resentments just slow me down. I don't want to resent anybody. And it took me a lot of years to work through my resentments with my father and that relationship. And I recognize it was self inflicted. I was the one filled with resentment. I'm the only one who could resolve that. So it's the same thing with failure. Your perspective of failure, how you embrace it and utilize it to make or break what you do is imperative. Is imperative. So let's begin. Thanking our sponsors. If you have questions, put them in there, okay? Thanking my sponsors, of course, everybody I love, Tucson, Market Muscles, my studio, Kids Live Life Skills, LC Accounting. Do your research, right? No pitches, do your research. And if you're not working with these guys, figure out why you're not and make it happen. Where will we be 11th, November 11th through 14th, right? You have me, Dave Kovar, Terry Lee, Sam On, and an up and comer, Adam Lodi. I love Adam and his brothers. That'll be a whole story we'll discuss over the 4 days. He's going to be here with his team for 4 days. Terry Lee's staying for 4 days, you guys. For all the women, I told Miss Monique, you better walk with this lady, sit at dinner with her. 800 students for what, 30, 40 years now in a row? That's powerful. She opened up a school, a woman-driven school, a woman-owned school at a time in the late 80s, 90s where it was a male-dominated industry. That's worth the 4 days. If I will, I mean, I will anyways, but I don't want to hoard her. You guys should be walking with her, eating dinner with her, take her out for a drink after we're done at the end of the day. That's going to be wild. Dave Cover will handle the training on Saturday after you watch classes with me. And then Monday is all personal development, which is what we do, outdoors mainly. And Tuesday, Sam will be with us for 3 hours virtually, but he'll be here for 3 hours. And somebody asked me if he's virtual, can I buy into just watching Sam? You can. We're going to set that up, and make that happen. Some people want to just send their teams on Saturday to Dave Kovar. Yes, you can. You can make, Letitia Craps. Let's see. Call me. Letitia wants me to call her. Why do you want me to call you, Letitia? What do you want me to call you? You know what I used to call her? Oh, can I do that? Fish. Write this down, Virginia. Everybody write this down. Fish Mo. Got it? Fish Mo. Blabadoo. Got it? Blabadoo Godzuki. I know she's going to kill me. Because anybody ever watch The Son of Godzilla? Okay. The little baby Godzilla looked like my sister when she was a little baby. That's it. That's all I'm going to say. Okay, but I'll call you after this, Tish. And so you guys, this is your game, man. This is your space. Here we go. How do you handle having core values in an environment and a society that doesn't care anymore unless you give them an 8-year-old a black belt? That's your perception, David, not mine. Right? See, that is why you're trying to handle it versus being a beacon of light that's out there. We don't promote 8-year-old black belts. Our average black belt is 4 years, but it takes about 6 to 7. That's it. That's it. Right? So honestly, that type of parent is not part of our culture. We don't attract them. And if they come to us, they leave pretty quickly. So I'm going to encourage you to shift that mindset, David, in a society that doesn't care anymore. Okay, we have society right here. Put it in the comments. How many everybody that's on this Zoom cares about their community? Go, put it in. And while you guys do that, I understand, David. There's no black without white. There's no darkness without light. And there's not caring unless there's people who don't care. And that's the truth of it, right? That's the truth of it. But even if it's a niche audience, David, and we do that niche audience to the tune of 1,014 people today, there is an audience out there that is going to value what you offer as an investment. And they're going to do everything they can to be part of your culture, to be part of your community, David. You just have to always care. You have to care more than anybody if you believe we live in a society that doesn't care, right? You with me? Are you with me? Are you with me, David? Give me that. Give me that today. Give me that. Give me that today, David, because I know you care. And I know it, I know it because I study the markets every day because I invest. And I see so much darkness. The war in Ukraine, FTX, China and Korea and Russia. I see all of this craziness. I see the guy, we just had it here last week at a football game, my son's freaking football game. He wasn't playing, we were watching, and Kim was working the snack bar, right? Then after the game, some stupid 3 kids pulled a gun and robbed 2 other kids of cell phones. You bring a freaking gun to my son's high school game. What is wrong with you? I get it, David. I get it. I get it. That is why we have to fight that. We have to be that beacon of hope. I get haters every day because of my message in the martial arts industry. Every day. Every day. And you know what I do? Love, block, delete. So every time you feel that, David, that society doesn't care, you care 10 times more and put it out there. And I promise you, it will come back tenfold in students, in culture, in community, in personal wealth, in spiritual wealth, in mental wealth. It will come back tenfold. But the minute any of us make that choice to give into the simple darkness that this is a society that doesn't care, we're done on a personal level. We're done on a business level. We're done on a emotional level and a spiritual level. And that can manifest into physical sickness, on and on, on and on. Every day I'm fighting gravity, right? I'm fighting age, all of it. But a certain amount of me has to embrace all of it if I'm ever to heal it within me and outside of me. Cool? So it's time life balance. 9 spots left for the 4 days. Please make that investment in yourself. Please do that for yourself and spend 4 days with me. I promise it'll be the most amazing time of your life. Cool? All right. So thank you, Marco, for holding up. Everybody, man, I'm glad the people who were here today are people I love and care about. Hey, I mean, the people who posted. I know a lot of people are watching this. But everybody that's here, Virginia, David, Marco, Jason, Letitia, Bob, Switzerland. We got Ralph in Switzerland, Mike Oliver, right? And of Zen Martial Arts up in Sacramento. All of you. Bow, Master Bow. I love all you guys. And I'm so happy. Courtney, Courtney, you guys all deserve the best. Oh, Master Maravich. Hey, there you are. I love Master Maravich and his family too. Just you guys, I'm so happy for you. Just never give up. Just never give up. And always keep fighting the good fight. Because at the end of the day, when you put your head on the pillow, you know you did the good work and you did the right work. Cool? All right. I am Brannon Beliso. This is Success Never Sleeps. Until we talk again, please. If you go out there, live your best life.